up? What's up? Back to the next episode of Dynasty Life Miami. Here we are, episode 3, right on time, like we promised last week. What's up, JP? How you doing, brother?
Bro, I'm stoked, man. Glad that we're on point this week. You know what I'm saying? We came through with the promise, and I'm ready to go, man. Ready to talk about these teams, man. Going in on that AFC, NFC South. Super stoked, man.
For sure, bro. Now, before we get into that, I'm gonna have a little game I want to play with you, bro. But before we get to that, again, everybody, go follow us on Twitter. You can find me at Uncommon Sense. That's UNCOMMONSENSE. Go follow me on Twitter. You follow us at Dynasty Life Miami. That's all one word on Apple Podcasts. And JP, tell them where they can find you, brother.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Life MIA, also at Salazar305. And yeah, that's and then everywhere else, just like Brandon said, YouTube, everywhere else, Dynasty Life Miami, we're good to go.
Yep, and everybody, that's that 305 right there in his Twitter handle. That's what the Miami Life is all about. So you better get it right, man.
Yeah, and I just want to give a shout out before we start real quick to everybody showing us love thus far, man. All our league mates that are with us in all the leagues that have subscribed to us in one way or the other. All our fans that have heard about us through other leagues that are they're in us with that they're not necessarily our like friends or anything like that are showing massive love. Everybody in the Discord, everybody from Dynasty Theory and Fantasy Football Confidential that have subscribed, man, and been showing love from it within the community, man. Bro, I'm really, really, really humbled by this, man. Honestly.
And I double up on that, man. We appreciate it, bro. And you know, it's a tight knit community, and I'm just grateful to be have a chance to be part of it, bro, and to put our content out there, and hope that even if it helps one or two people, bro, that means we've done a good job, bro. And I'm glad with that, man, for sure.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm glad from the reception that we've gotten, man. I really am, man. But yeah, let's get back to it, man.
All right. That's enough of this lovey-dovey bullshit, bro. Let's get into some football, man. So,
Let's get it.
all right, we like you said, we're gonna be talking AFC and NFC South this week, bro. But before we get into that, I got some questions for you, JP. We're gonna play a little game for the people out there. It's gonna be it's called Would You Rather, and basically I'm gonna drop two names for you, and you're gonna have to choose one, and you're gonna have to give everybody the reason why. And basically, the players I chose for you are both they're all very close in ADP. They're all very close in the rankings, and so hopefully it's not too easy for you, man. So, are you ready for this?
Let's do it, man. Let's go. This is what Dynasty football is all about. Let's get it.
All right, bro. Remember, this is being recorded. People are gonna take your takes, brother. So, tell me, Cam Akers going as RB7 right now in startups, and DeAndre Swift going as the RB6 in startups. Who would you rather have?
Wow. Okay. That's a good one. That's a real good one because I like both of these guys a whole lot, dude. I mean, I'm gonna explain myself completely. I like Swift this year just because Goff just loves to dump it off to the running back. They just drafted Sewell, so it's gonna be an extra blocker for Swift. A big boy that can move fast. So he's not just your regular, lineman. On the other end, you have the Rams who upgraded with Matthew Stafford. So, I think that passing game will open up the box for Cam Akers even more. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna go Cam Akers because the Rams are actually trying to compete this year, and it's just him and Henderson as opposed to Swift with Jamal Williams. They just drafted Jamar Jefferson, so it's a little crowded. I'm not saying any of those guys have anything close to DeAndre Swift, but it is gonna eventually, chip into his carries and his workload. So that could take opportunities away from him, and very well, might see less of production from Swift than we are from Akers. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Akers on that.
Nice, nice. All right. So that's check one. Cam Akers. JP says go get Cam Akers over DeAndre Swift. Next round, we're going here. We're gonna go into the tight end market, man, and we're gonna start off with DeAndre Swift's teammate. We got T.J. Hawkinson. He's going as a tight end 5. And we got Mark Andrews, who used to be the darling of the tight end world. but he's still up there. He's going as tight end 6 in startups. Who would you rather have?
This for me, believe it or not, B is a lot easier than the first one. I'm going Hawkinson all the way. He's getting well over 120 targets for sure, and Goff loves to throw to his tight ends. That's a given. He had Everett and he had Higbee over there in LA, and they both got the work. When they were both on the field or when one of them went down, he loves throwing it to him. Being that there's only one real target, TE in Detroit and Hawkinson, as opposed to having Everett and Higbee in LA, I think Hawkinson gets the full load here. We're ready to go. I think, to be honest with you, he gets the full haul. I don't have Andrews ranked over him at all. Plus, after the year that they had last year, I don't see him getting the work that Hawkinson is getting. Plus, let's not forget, Baltimore's a running team. Him and Lamar Jackson look nothing like they did in 2019. As far as chemistry and production, I'm looking for an improvement this year on that. But to me, he's not a better choice than Hawkinson, so I'm going Hawk all the way.
There you go. That's the right answer. TJ Hawkinson is the right answer to almost any question right now. He's gonna be fired this year for sure. All right, bro. So moving in, this is the last one, bro. Last one. And in my opinion, both of these guys are going too low as it is. But Allen Robinson going right now, wide receiver 15, and Amari Cooper going as the wide receiver 16 in startups. Who would you rather have?
This was a good one too. I'm not even gonna lie, buddy. Um, I'm gonna have to go A-Rob, man. I think he's still a better wide receiver at this age than Amari Cooper is, and I think he has less of a target share in the Chicago Bears than Amari Cooper has in the Cowboys. And I'm a Fields truther.
And that's the answer too, man. I'm an A-Rob guy too, bro. I mean, Cooper's gonna eat, I think, over there in Dallas, but definitely, bro, A-Rob's the answer, bro. So, all right, bro. So to round it out, man, you got Cam Akers over Swift, you got Hawkinson over Andrews, you got A-Rob over Cooper. That sound good to you?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the shit right there, bro. All right, man. Well, that's the first time playing that game. I think it's a game that we're probably gonna try rolling out more often, bro. How'd you like it?
I love it. I think I'm gonna set up to catch you next week off guard, buddy.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. So you everyone stay tuned for that. JP's gonna put me on the spot, bro, and see if he can stump me, man. So we'll see what happens next week. But starting off, man, we're gonna roll into the AFC South. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the Tennessee Titans, bro. And what we can't talk about the Titans without talking about Julio Jones. You and me talked about this a little bit. We were thinking about starting off the show discussing Julio Jones, but we had already touched on it a lot last week, and we knew we were going to be covering the Titans and the Falcons later on. So it made sense to just jump right in this spot of it. So, like I said, Julio Jones, he goes over to Tennessee. Tennessee is a run heavy team. We all know that they live and die off that play action, faking the ball to Derrick Henry and then just bombing it deep to AJ Brown. But you don't trade for Julio Jones without planning on using him. In all honesty, other than staying put in Atlanta, I think this is the best place he could have gone, bro. I think this is the closest place he's gonna get. He's got a good quarterback who, in my opinion, Ryan Tannehill is better than Matt Ryan. I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the love for Matt Ryan is, bro. But to me, Ryan Tannehill at this stage of his career and probably before is a better quarterback than Matt Ryan. So to me, he gets an upgrade on quarterback. Everything I'm reading on my TL is that this is a negative for Derrick Henry. I don't see that, bro. To me, this is a plus for Derrick Henry. Better offense equals more scoring opportunities. That means more touchdowns, bro. More chances of playing with a lead with a better offense means leaning more on the run even more. Julio Jones playing on the other side of AJB reduces the stacked boxes, bro. So for me, Derrick Henry is to the moon, bro. I was already drafting him high, and I'm drafting him even higher now. Now, talking redraft and talking best ball, not dynasty. I'm taking Derrick Henry over Saquon and Kamara. Easy, bro. Easy. So I don't know if that's uh, a spicy take or not, bro. As far as Dynasty's concerned, bro, Henry's a 27-year-old who's been killing it the past 2 years. But he's a major outlier, bro. He's big. I don't think we've seen a running back like this man before, bro. He's like a mountain out there. That stiff arm. I can't get enough of watching those YouTube videos of his stiff arms, bro. I'm telling you. But the real question is, how much longer can he keep it up? And I don't know about you. Have you seen his workout videos on Twitter at all? What that guy does?
Oh my God, bro. That guy is. Have you just seen him on the baseball field? I mean, on the baseball field. Look at me on the football field next to everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Bro, he's a mountain. Those videos are killing it. To me, if you're a contender, this is not the type of player you try to get cute with and trade to get younger. I'm going down with the ship with Derrick Henry on my team. You know what I mean? It's hard to get his value because everyone keeps expecting him to fall off at some point, especially since he doesn't catch passes. So he's not, if he doesn't get those yards, he doesn't get those touchdowns, he doesn't have a lot of value. And so it's hard to get what he's worth in dynasty leagues, and he's not worth trading away just trying to get a little younger. I say if you're a contender, you hold on to him, you ride him to the championship, and if when he falls off the cliff, he falls off the cliff, bro. Yeah, well, for me, if you're not contending, obviously you try and sell him. But the question is, when do you try to sell him, right? For me, it's during the season for the playoff pushes. That's the best time to try to get rid of this guy. You're going to have to ride him out. You're going to have to let him get you some points on your team. But mid-season, when a contender has an injured player go down, and they're trying to push, that's when you strike. That's when you make that offer. You get rid of, you trade away Derrick Henry. Maybe you get the injured player that just went down, who's maybe younger, who's going to come back next year stronger. You get some multiple firsts, and that's when you sell Derrick Henry. As far as AJ Brown, to me, he's still going to be a beast this year. He's a steal in the second round where he's going. And obviously, I talked about it earlier. Tannehill is the big winner in my eyes. He's moved up right to the middle of QB1 category for me. I'm trying to grab him in super flexes everywhere I don't have him before people realize just how good he was before he got Julio. He's going as the QB 13 in super flex startup drafts. I could see him finishing as the QB 7, QB 6. And just briefly, bro, because I've been playing a lot of best ball. I know I got you into some best ball in underdog, and we're gonna be doing some of that. If you're talking best ball, you have a really good chance of getting a Tannehill, AJB, and Julio stack. And if Henry falls, you could even end up with a quad stack. So that's something you can look out for in those underdog drafts. Not really much to talk about their draft as far as I'm concerned. The NFL draft, they got a nice corner in the first, and based on this Julio pick and Des Patrick in the fourth at wide receiver, the guy was a wasted pick to begin with. And once again, this is my public service announcement. Time to not draft Ferkser. He's dead. Don't draft him.
Oh yeah, you're gonna still go with that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still disagree with you on that. They're gonna throw more. Disagree with you still on that. They're gonna throw more. Just by the acquisition of Julio Jones, they're gonna throw more. And I agree with you on this is great for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry doesn't have to have such a load on top of him. B, they're not stacking the box, which you mentioned. So that's a double whammy there for him to thrive. And today I saw a little article and a little video today of him lining up at receiver. So you might even get some points this year with receptions with Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? I think I feel the same way about Tannehill right now at this point in his career than Matt Ryan. I think he's a better quarterback. I think he's gonna throw the ball deep. I think with Derrick Henry, you automatically have the play action. So it's bombs away. You got AJ Brown on one side and you got Julio Jones on the other. And then let me tell you something. Ferguson's gonna get you points. There's a 50-50 chance that he's gonna be touchdown dependent. That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? If he outproduced Juno last year, he's still got some worth. I mean, Corey Davis was there last year. Julio Jones is an obvious upgrade. So we talked about that last show. But yeah, I still don't think Ferksker's dead. I just don't, I don't have him like at 100 targets. like I had him before. I'll give him like anywhere from 60 to 80 targets, and he's definitely a red zone threat, especially with those guys on the outside, especially with Derrick Henry coming out of the backfield. So, I would have to disagree with you there. Yeah, his rank obviously, his hype dies down a little bit. I will agree with you there because just, I mean, come on, there's only so much ball to go around, you know. So yeah, I like their outlook. I think, like I said, I think that Julio Jones is a definite upgrade. And I think it's bombs away. I think that play action is gonna be nice, man. I'm telling you right now. And like I said, the load off of Derrick Henry, the fact that everything's not gonna be on top of him and the box not gonna be stacked, you're definitely gonna have to hold on to him. And I agree. If you wanna get the most for Derrick Henry, you got to wait for the perfect time to strike. And I would agree with B. It would have to be in the middle of the season when he's scoring points, he's going up. You're going to be able to get the most for him possible. And if obviously you're going to be trading to a contender, you know what I mean. So you got to get the most possible for him, and that's where you're going to get it.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. And we'll just have to see about Ferkser. I think this is going to be a good one to see at the end of the year, man. We'll keep track of um
Well,
of our
I'm
boy
pretty
Ferkser.
sure I'm pretty sure during the season we'll have our week by week analysis on the weeks and stuff like that, So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. And I know you got some players too, some sleepers. So we'll keep an eye on each other's sleepers, and we'll see who's right, who's wrong, and we'll have a little bragging right thing there. So get ready for that too, guys. It's gonna be me and B going head to head now. We don't agree on everything, so this is the fun part of the podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man, for sure. All right, Bryce. I think that's it for the Titans, man. I think we said what we need to say. I'm gonna go jump right into the Jags, man. There's a lot going on with the Jaguars, bro, and it starts and it ends with T. Law being the first overall pick, man. If this pick hits, even a bad coach, Urban Meyer doing a bad job should not be able to stop him, bro. But if he whiffs, bro, once again the Jags are going to be the bottom of the NFL for another 5 to 10 years, bro. That's just what's going to be like. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this for clickbait. I'm not saying this um, for anything, just to say it, bro. But everyone's saying T Law is a can't miss project, bro. And I know I don't know much about QB evaluations. I'm not a scout. I don't do this for a living, bro. But and I know this guy played ball, and I know this guy, won championships I think it was as a freshman, man, and all that, bro. But for me, there's something that doesn't click right for me with that guy. It doesn't. It doesn't mean he's to me. That doesn't mean he's gonna be a bad QB. I don't think he's gonna bust out. I don't think he's gonna be, just a complete wolf, bro. But I wouldn't be surprised if Fields or even Lance go down as a better QBs when all is said and done. I'm maybe that's a hot take. What I see on Twitter, that could be a hot take, but I wouldn't be surprised, bro. So all these people taking them as an automatic 101 on Superflex, man. If I happen to have multiple first round picks spread out throughout different leagues at the 101, I would not be picking T Law every single time. I would be diversifying because I have a sneaky feeling, bro, that at the end of the day you could see Field or Lance ahead of him. What do you think about that, man?
I don't think you're off at all, me. I actually think that's a hot take. Um, I've been doing the same thing kind of with. I haven't had a first pick this year in any of my drafts, but I kind of been doing the same thing between Fields and Lance. I've been getting Fields in some drafts at the 2, or at the 3, and doing vice versa with Lance, and Fields, both of them. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And to be honest with you, I like both of them. To be honest with you, I think Fields is the better athlete. Obvious, T Law's the number one. I just think that to reiterate and add to your point, I think T Law doesn't exactly have the best upside. You know what I mean? Just because Urban Meyer's there, and to be honest with you, B, we've already talked about this. That pick with ETN and having ETN at the wide receiver, that just scares the crap out of me, bro. You know what I'm saying? That scraps that. I'm not saying that Meyer's not gonna run the team. Obviously, he's gonna have an OC there calling the plays, but that just scares the crap out of me, dude. And the whole Kadarius Tony rumor of him being heard about that, and then going and grabbing Travis Etienne probably out of anger, because don't get me wrong, he's probably seen this kid burn his team a bunch of times. So it's not like he hasn't seen them with his eyes, but I'm just a little concerned about that. But in T Law, I mean, talent wise, winning wise, he's a beast, dude. You know what I mean? And but he doesn't exactly, to me, have the best upside. Like it's not like a snap of the fingers thing for me. You got to look at this. Yeah, the coach may not even translate into his career. He might be a stud, and the coach might not even matter. You know what I mean? But if it does take a part, in his career, and it does mess up, I can see. I don't know if maybe at the end of the careers they might be close or not, but I can see Trey Lance or Justin Fields taking off earlier than Lawrence, just because of the situations that they're in, because they have better coaches, in my opinion.
Sure.
But that's just to add to your hot take. A lot of people have Trevor Lawrence with tremendous upside over both Lance and Fields, and that's fine. I mean, that's fine. But if you really take an in-depth look, and you see what Urban Meyer's doing, and you see that this is Nagy's last year in Chicago, and you know everybody's saying that if the 49ers are smart, they're gonna let Trey Lance chill. They're gonna give him some time. They're gonna let him learn that offense, and then they're gonna let him go. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is the move to do. So, I mean, who knows who's gonna pop off first? But I can tell you this: you may be right. I can see, depending on how these guys get eased into that offense and how everything goes around them, I can see, Justin Fields or Trey Lance, having a better career than Trevor Lawrence, because let's be frank, Trevor Lawrence might have a shaky start here with
Well,
what's going on in Jacksonville.
yep, and that's all I'm saying, right? Before I get into a little more of the Jag, what I'm saying is the hype on T Law is over the moon, right? So if you got the 101, people want T Law, bro. So if someone has the 103, or even the 102, 103, whatever, I'm saying trade out, bro. Trade back. Even if you gain a second round pick, even if you gain a player with upside, what you're doing is you're diversifying. You're trading back to 103, and in the other person's mind, they're getting a steal. Oh, I'm getting T Law. I'm getting T Law. But if we're saying the possibility of Fields or Lance, whoever is at that 103, having the same or better career as T Law is pretty even, then trading back a couple spots, gaining an extra second, gaining an upside player, that's just money in the bank, right? And that's how you build up your dynasty team, right? You don't always grab, oh, this guy's a lock. And then guess what? Then you have T Law on your team, and your team still sucks, and you're picking out the 101 again next year. But if you're trading back a little, getting a player of the same or similar value, while getting additional picks and or players for you to beef up your team, that's how you build a championship contender. In my opinion. Um,
Okay, let's put a little situation here. Quick talk here. You know what I mean? Let's say that you got the 1-1, and you got somebody with the 1-5 hitting you up with the 1-5. Maybe he has the 110, and maybe he'll throw you a 20-22 one, because remember, he's going to the 1-1, and you're at the 1-5. So he's thinking hypothetically that he's not going to have a quarterback land to him, and he doesn't want the quarterbacks that are going to land to him. He wants Lawrence. So you got to use that to your advantage. Now, I can see it happening. You're getting the 1-1, so you're gonna have to give something up for that 1-1. You know what I'm saying? So you might be able to, let's say hypothetically, you make this trade. You get the 1-5, you get the 110, and you get a 2022 first, right? At the 1-5, you might very well have either Trey Lance, Justin Fields still there. I've seen people, going Kyle Pitts with the 1-2 and the 1-3. I've seen people going in front. I've seen people going Najee Harris. 1-2, 1-2, 1-3 over Justin Fields and Trey Lance. So you don't know how the draft is gonna go, and if you're a contender, and you already have a contending team, and you have the 1-1 because you made a dope trade, who knows when, you know, this could be another dope trade that can have you set for another 2 to 3 years down the line, and you're still gonna get a nasty prospect in my eyes. So I agree with you 100%. I think that's the way. That's one way to win, especially with what we just said right now, with the upside on these three quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. You got to always be willing to make deals, bro. If you got to take the pick, you make the pick, but no pick should ever be automatic, bro. It should never be like automatic press draft. Yeah, you should always be playing the field, seeing what's out there, bro. But with that being said, so going back to the Jags, man, and you touched on it a little bit. ETN in the first round, we both said we didn't think it was a smart pick. They already had Robinson, who already showed he could play. The only thing I could think about is if you're grabbing ETN, makes T-Loff transition better as a pro, and helps him succeed, then I guess it could be considered a worthwhile pick. But that's something that we're just gonna have to see how much this guy leans on ETN. But they certainly had much more needs as a team, including the defense. I think it got a little bit better, but it's still a bad defense. So what does that mean for fantasy, right? That means this team is going to be playing from behind. And you got DJ Chark, who had a shitty ass rookie year, came on hard his second year, and last year could easily be considered a disappointment. But I feel like we got to throw that out. He's playing with Gardner Minshew. Doug Moreau is a horrible coach. It was just a complete clusterfuck, right? But Chark, what he's doing now is, from all reports I've been reading, he bulked up like 6-7 pounds of muscle based on something that Urban Meyer told him, saying that he played a little smaller. From what I'm hearing, Chark took that to heart. He's also a free agent after this year, bro. So maybe he comes in with a better QB play, because we all know no matter what I'm saying about T-Law, he's a better QB than Gardner Minshew. Like, that's a fact, right? He's the day he was born, he was a better QB than Gardner Minshew. So it is what it is. No disrespect to the mustache man, but it is what it is, bro. So Chark comes in. He's going to be a free agent after this year. So he's playing for a contract. He's playing with a better QB. That's a bad defense. They're going to be throwing the ball around, and he's coming off as a wide receiver 29 in startups. He's only 24 years old. For me, Dynasty, I'm grabbing him. I'm grabbing him regardless. I might even reach for him a little bit, because I think I can get a really good year out of him this year. And if it's good enough that the Jags re-sign him to a nice contract, then we know, all right, he had a great year, he's going to stay. And if it's good enough that they can't even afford him, he's going to go somewhere else and probably have sign somewhere where he's going to play with a QB and give us some points, bro. Think kind of go Corey Davis, but like he did the year before, but better, bro. So to me, grab Chark when you can. ETN, he's my running back one in this year's rookies class. I have him over Najee. I think Najee might have a better rookie year, but long term, I think ETN is gonna be the better running back in this class. He's a home run threat every time he touches the ball. He's playing with his former QB from college, so they got that mind meld. He knows where he needs to be. And where Najee's costing you a mid-second round pick in startups as the running back 11, you can get ETN all the way around later in the third round as your running back 17. I don't see how he's going to be a running back 17. I just don't. Again, it's a bad defense. He's a phenomenal pass catcher, and he's going to have his QB from college who knows where he at, knows his tendencies, throwing him the ball. So to me, ETN is a value. Finally, dealing with Chenault, he's the wild card. It really matters if Urban Meyer is going to use him properly or not, man. I think he's more than a gadget player. I can envision him being a big slot type of player where he's bullying the corners, using his raw athleticism to just take the ball to the house on slants, posting up, double moves. I think in startups, him and Chark are going 5 picks apart. So really pick your poison. If you want the guy who more than likely is going to be tied to T-Law, then go Chenault. And finally, for me, again, touching on the underdog best ball leagues, a very underrated stack right now. You grab T-Law as your QB. You get either Chark or Chenault as your wide receivers. One of those, since they're drafting so close, and you can still get ETN and Marvin Jones to complete the stack. That's another stack I'm looking at in those $1 million best ball tournaments.
Okay, I'm a little worried about Chenault. I'm not gonna lie. Just the fact that ETN's lining up at receiver, and Urban Meyer wanted to go Kadarius Toney. Makes me think that he doesn't like something's going on there. You know what I mean? Because Chenault's good, dude. I don't. To me, Chenault's a stud, man. I mean, he hasn't even lived up to his potential, but he looked good out there last year on a really crappy team, and he was getting the ball. ETN, um, he's definitely a great guy, like a great running back. I mean, his average per play in college was outrageous. I'm just I don't know, man. I don't think that I don't think he's better at this point at the NFL level than James Robinson because we haven't seen him. But he does have a huge advantage over James Robinson right now because of the mind melt. He knows where he needs to be. T. Law's gonna know when to throw the ball. He's gonna know where he's at when he's in trouble. Like there's a lot of intangibles that people are not understanding here. That ETN might, he might look better. You know what I'm saying? In some instances, that James Robinson, but after what James Robinson did last year, you don't see that happen too much. Like that doesn't happen every year. So I'm just, and that's why I'm picking up Najee Harris. I'd rather just pick up Najee Harris. It's a for sure thing. Like ETN, he's gonna be great, but it's gonna take some time. And I don't know if like what I said for T Law, I don't know if Urban Meyer is gonna either stunt this guy's growth in the NFL or help it. You know what I'm saying? Because if he starts lining this guy up at the slot, like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're already regressing him from being a running back in the NFL. So, there's a lot of things that play into this, but the only place where I disagree with you is I would pick up Najee Harris in a heartbeat. Like he's a bell cow running back. There's barely any bell cow running backs, and if you have a chance at this age in the sport to pick up a bell cow running back, which you know is going to be a bell cow running back, you need to go after that guy. You know, yeah, it's dynasty, yeah, it's long term, but that guy's going to get the ball, and if he pans out, he pans out. And I think he's going to pan out. Even when Pittsburgh's had offensive line, they've ran the ball down everybody's throat. You know what I'm saying? Please tell me that I'm wrong. The offensive line for me is bad for Ben. Ben Roethlisberger's not really mobile. His arm is all banged up. He's a tall guy. If he gets hit low even by mistake, because those hits are illegal. Even if it's by mistake, that could be a season-ending injury. So I get the knocks on on the line, but I've there's been instances where Pittsburgh's had bad lines, and they've still thrived at the running game, repeatedly. So that's the only place where I would disagree with you. But on Shark, this is my last year on Shark. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I'm high on wide receivers when they can do it with any quarterback. I don't like making excuses when there's not a quarterback there, or if there's a quarterback there. If that guy's good, he's gonna gel with whatever quarterback is there, even if that guy sucks. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I mean, hopefully he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. It's a contract year for him. So hopefully you're right. And if you can get him a little bit past where his ADP is at right now, I would definitely stack Shark. Because even if he doesn't produce this year, if he goes to a team like Brandon says with a better QB, you might be seeing some long-term, benefit from grabbing Shark now.
Nope. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And moving on, bro. We're making good pace, dude. So those are my two teams on the AFC South. I know that you're coming with the Colts and the Texans. Who are you talking about first today?
I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Colts, dude. They went ahead and picked up Wentz in the offseason, which was to me, a smart move. If it works out, it works out, and if it doesn't, you move on. They have a great defense. They stacked that defense with a number in the first round with a 21 overall pick in Kwity Paye. I mean, what is there not to like about this guy? 6'4", he weighs 272 pounds, defensive lineman out of Michigan. He's all that you're looking for, in a defensive lineman. He's all that you're looking for. He's a hole filler, like he instant starter, like you know what I'm saying. And if he doesn't start, he got good guys in front of him to teach him the ropes for him to be a super hit. You know what I'm saying? So I really like this guy. and they're just making that defense even better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think they pretty much took care of the running backs last year. So like their offense is pretty good. I'm a little concerned about Wentz. With round two, 54 overall pick. Um, they went from a DAEE Vanderbilt Dayo. Let me see if I can pronounce this right. I'm sorry if I don't. Odoyingabo. He might be starting in the first year. He might not, but he's a pretty good pick. Another defensive pick in the fourth round. They went with Kylan Grayson, tight end at SMU. He was probably one of the only tight ends that was talked about in the draft. You know what I'm saying? So he's there. They got Jack Doyle there. They got more Ali Cox. Who knows? They didn't re-sign Trey Burton. So who knows? Maybe this guy's a sleeper. This guy's gonna take a little bit. Obviously, it's pretty crowded. You know, uh, let's see what happens with that. The Colts, just the fact that they have a good defense, that's gonna win ball games. Is it an upgrade at quarterback? I mean, they're gonna get some passes downfield. I mean, Philip Rivers just loves to check down to his running backs, which is why all those running backs thrived last year on in Dynasty and in fantasy football. Because that if you had anybody in that backfield, if you started them at the right time, or even in best ball, you were getting points from all three of those guys. Which is great. In round five, they win Sean Davis, safety out of Florida. Once again, stacking up the defense. Round six, they picked up Sam Edinger, a QB out of Texas. That this is just in case Jacob Eason might not work or Carson Wentz, might not work. Maybe they have a gem in this kid. We never know. As far as I'm concerned, they keep going defense. They got a really good first round pick. They upgraded at quarterback, so to me, their outlook is pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the playoffs and they make some noise this year. What do
Definitely.
you think, Brandon? What do you think about this team? What are you feeling about this team?
Well, let me tell you, man. I'll tell you what I'm thinking, bro. I think Wentz is an upgrade, even with his struggles. He's an upgrade over Philip Rivers. I think this. I think Philly let Wentz down with that shitty ass O line. They gave him weapons like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and Greg Ward and shit like that, and then they shit all over him when he doesn't produce and when he's getting sacked. You know what I mean? He comes back to the Colts. He reunites with Frank Wright, who is his coach in Philly when he was having those MVP type of years. He's got a great offensive line behind him, in front of him now to play behind from. He's got Jonathan Taylor running the ball, which is better than any running back he's had. Sorry, Miles Sanders truthers. I mean, it's not even close. The real question is to me is the wide receivers, right? Is it going to be Pittman? Is it going to be Paris Campbell? Does T.Y. Hilton have one more year in him? I think that's really where we're going to see if Wentz can rise these people up with him, get one of these guys. Who's going to be his main guy that he throws to? So I think that's really the question: is who's going to be the main target for Wentz? I did write down a little note here. You touched on him. For me, sleeper tight end, Kylan Grayson, 4.69 40, upper tier athlete. Like you said, they drafted him in the fourth round. There's reports coming out of camp that he's much farther along than they thought he was. He had a breakout age of 18.4, which is in the 97th percentile. And he's going in the fourth round of rookie drafts, bro, the end of the fourth round. So grab him, throw him on your taxi, see if in 2 years he becomes something or not. And that's what I would do with Grayson. And other than that, I think this Colts is going to be a good team. So I'm looking forward to seeing. To me, it's between them and the Titans for this division. So let's see who wins. That's what it's all about in my eyes.
No, I like Pittman, man. I really do. I like how that kid looks. But it all depends. I think Hilton might be a good fit for once. He likes throwing a lot of screens. I think Hilton's he's still a good possession receiver. He's still great. It's just once you get older, you're a little bit more injury prone. But that guy's great. It's just like you said. It's all a roll of the dice. You don't know who he's gonna gel with. You know, I can tell you this year. and I don't think this is a hot take, but do not expect the same output out of those running backs that you got last year without Philip Rivers quarterbacking. Do not think that that's going to happen again. Please do not go after these guys like they're like running back ones. That what happened last year happened because Philip Rivers just checks down everywhere he
Oh, hold
goes.
on, hold on. You don't think Jonathan Taylor's a running back one?
No, no, I'm not saying Jonathan Taylor. I'm saying the other
Oh,
two. You
all
you
right.
know
I
what
was,
I'm saying? No, no, I'm saying the other two. Like, they to be honest with you, Brandon, they all got to work last year. They were I mean, depending on if you started the right guy, before Jonathan Taylor started balling, like they were getting passes left and right from Philip Rivers,
sure.
Wilkins, all of them. Like, that for PPR is a recipe for winning
Yeah.
games. I'm just saying, don't expect that with Wentz there.
Oh, I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying?
I think
Don't expect that.
Hines is getting overdrafted. People see his name and they think of last year, and I think this is Taylor's backfield, bro. And I'm
Yeah,
super high on Taylor, and I can see him being the running back one in the next year or two. So
I agree 100%. And let me tell you something. You got guys that are hungry for Hines and Wilkins. So if you can get something for these guys right now, or one of them, I would do it. You know what I mean? If you got somebody tugging you for one of those guys, I think you should do it because unless Jonathan Taylor goes down, I don't see these guys having the same production. I'm not saying they're gonna bomb, but I don't see these guys having the same productions they had last year with Philip Rivers under center. I just don't see it. You
yeah,
know?
I agree, man. I agree. And now talk about people who are not gonna have production, bro. The Texans, bro. Tell me.
Oh,
I know that you got stuck with these guys. Tell me. I know you had to look hard. What's going on with the Texans, brother?
I mean, like I said, with the whole situation with Deshaun Watson going on, like they didn't have a first round pick, they didn't have a second round pick, so I mean, there's and we really don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Tyrod Taylor. Like, is he getting that offense? I'm not hearing nothing out of there. But I can tell you this: with in the third round with the 67th pick, they picked up Davis Mills, a QB out of Stanford. I, I like this kid for a sleeper quarterback, especially where they picked him up third round, 67th pick. I mean, it doesn't hurt. He's got a good size to him. He weighs like 220 pounds or 215 pounds. I don't think this is a bad pick at all. Like they have so many holes to fill, and you don't know what's going on with Deshaun. Not a bad situation for the kid. He's in a good situation. Like, who knows if he has Tyrod Taylor to beat. I mean, I'm not trying to be a damper on Tyrod Taylor, but it's not a big feat that he has to overcome. In the third round with the 89th pick, they picked up my boy Nico from Michigan. 6'4", 215 pounds, vertical threat. There's nobody there. Will Fuller's gone. Everybody's gone basically. They do have Brandon Cooks there,
Don't
but
sleep
he's
on
not
Cooks.
gonna. He's excuse me.
I said, don't sleep on Cooks. I think he's about.
Oh, oh, no, I'm not sleeping on Cooks. I just don't think they're gonna be playing in the same spot. It doesn't affect him. If anything, it helps Cooks out. And Cooks could actually mentor this guy. You know what I mean? This guy has all the tools that a lot of the wide receivers in this draft do not have. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about size, athleticism. He's got it all. You know what I mean? So it's all a matter of It's all a matter of how fast they bring them along. Who's going to be the quarterback there? How long do they take with the situation? So on and so forth. But I really liked him. I really like this kid. And you got to understand, with everything going on, in Michigan with Harbaugh, you're going to have to give these kids the benefit of the doubt. All of them. I give them all the benefit of the doubt. That's just the way I'm doing it. Then they went ahead and they went. They didn't have a pick in round 4. So they went in round 5 with my boy Brevin Jordan from the U. You know what I'm saying? This is not even. I can't believe Brevin Jordan fell this far down. Like, I'm like, wow. I think they got a steal here. And even if they didn't, they paid a 5th round pick for the guy. Tight ends from the U aren't too shabby. Let me tell you, brother. We this is Miami's where we're from, so we pull for the U, but I I like this pick. They actually got a lot of value with this pick. They got another pick in the fifth round with Garrett Wallow, a linebacker from TCU. Waddle had 90 tackles, 3 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles in the last season. He's shown the ability to make plays all over the field. He's at 220 pounds. That's what he weighed on his pro day, and they say right now he's weighing up to probably even 227. So that's something that they definitely had to address. So they have so many holes to fill. It's like I don't even, I can't even tell them, well, that's a bad pick because they need all the talent they can get, and I think that they got good talent with those 2 picks right there. In the sixth round, they got the 195th pick as well. They got Roy Lopez. He's the defensive tackle from Arizona, 6'2", 318-pound defensive tackle. He began his career in New Mexico State, spent 1 season at Arizona. He's the 22nd ranked defensive tackle and the 350th player overall. But he said he's coming in humble, hungry, and he's ready to compete. So that's what the Texans need, man, to be honest with you. Not really much to talk about here, but to be honest with you, I like the Nico pick. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Brevin Jordan pick, and I like the Garrett Wallow pick. Brandon, I mean, they're probably gonna be at the bottom of the barrel. We're probably gonna have a different conversation next year about the draft. Hopefully, they didn't trade that draft pick. I'm not sure if they did, because they're probably not gonna finish very high. They're probably gonna have a good pick next year. So hopefully, they kept that pick and. If not, then we're gonna have the same conversation next year, buddy.
Well, no, they definitely have that pick. They definitely have that pick, and that's the. I agree with everything you're saying. I'm a big Nico fan. I love him. I think he's going to be a great player. I'm grabbing him every chance I can in the third round. You know what I mean? Even in the late second now, he's been creeping up. I don't know if you've noticed that he's been creeping up. So I've been grabbing him where I can. The only thing I'll tell you is with David Mills, I think he's a setup, man. I think he's a trap, and this is why I think he's a trap because, like you said, the team is shitty. They're gonna have a high pick. They could actually have the 101 next year, and so unless this guy Mills comes out and balls out and is the second coming of like a Drew Brees, the chances are they're gonna have the 101 next year, the 102, and they're gonna draft a quarterback next year, and then all the David Mills shares that everybody's got, maybe in Superflex, you grab them. They're gonna be worthless. That's just my take. I would say let someone else take the heat on that. Around the same area are guys like Mond or even Trask as rookie quarterbacks that don't have as much name value as the top five. So I would say around that same area, get yourself Mond or get yourself Trask and let somebody else draft David Mills. But other than that, I think we're good to go on the Texans.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on. We're short on time, and we don't want to go over an hour. So let's
Well, I
go.
think we're going over an hour. I don't know how we're gonna go, but we're gonna.
Nah. That's fine. If we go a couple minutes over an hour, it's okay. You know what
All
I'm
right,
saying? But we're trying to keep it. We're trying to keep it to a minimum here. So let's
let's
keep it
let's,
going.
let's push through then. So we got. I'm gonna start off with the Falcons, bro. Um, and here we are again, man. It's like I feel like deja vu. You can't talk the Falcons without talking Julio Jones, bro. We touched on it last week, but I'm going to touch on it again. Julio leaving gives Kyle Pitts the chance to have the greatest rookie tight end season ever. I mean, that's it, right? I mean, Kyle Pitts has been moving up so quick and so fast that this guy could have 800 yards and 8 touchdowns, and it'll be a great season, and people will think they'll be down on him because he didn't pull off 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns, which is in his range of outcomes. Okay, so Julio leaving gives Kyle Pitts that chance. Really has top five wide receiver potential, but I don't know if you saw, but news broke of recently of him having off-season foot surgery. So he's not even in camp right now. He's recovering from the foot surgery. They're calling it minor. So I just say he's too good, and there's too much upside there to fade him too far. But draft with care, bro, and keep an ear out for any updates because foot injuries on wide receivers don't go well, bro. Don't go well. He could be dealing with some problems all year long and screw you over. So just be careful when drafting him. I'm still taking him, but to me, it's not a slam dunk smash draft. I'm thinking about it a little more, and if I can get an AJ Brown or somebody else around that same area, I'm thinking about it a little bit more. We talked about it, so I'm not going to talk on it too much. Matt Ryan takes a hit. To me, the underspoken stuff. So does Mike Davis, man. Mike Davis is going to take a hit, and people say, "Well, why they don't have Julio to run the ball more?" Maybe, maybe not. But running backs need scoring opportunities. You need to be on the goal line. That's when you get your 6 points in for the touchdown. And you take a guy like Julio Jones off a team, they're going to be scoring less points. And if they're scoring less points, that's less goal line work. Mike Davis is not going to have as many scoring opportunities. What's really interesting to me is Hayden Hurst, bro. Arthur Smith is the new head coach of the Falcons, and as you know, he's coming over from the Titans, which we talked about also. And the Titans offense ran multiple tight end sets 38% of the time. In Tennessee, Smith was coaching in some capacity the tight ends for 7 different seasons. He was either an assistant offensive line and tight ends coach. He dropped offensive line responsibilities in 2014 and 2015 to become the assistant tight end coach. From 2015 to 18, he worked under the tight end coach title before becoming the offensive coordinator. So the same reason that Ferkser and Jonu were doing well last year, running 2 tight end sets in Tennessee, gives me the thought that Hayden Hurst running with Kyle Pitts, maybe they squeeze Kyle Pitts over in the slot. Maybe they put Hayden Hurst in the slot too, getting some wide receiver reps. But Hayden Hurst right now is going as the tight end 40 at the end of drafts. He's basically free. I think he's a good tight end to grab, and he could produce enough. He could produce enough this year to land a starting job somewhere next year. I think it's a nice grab. Everybody's going Gage, and I'm not saying Russell Gage is a bad grab. He's going to be the starting wide receiver. But he's to me, he's just a guy, bro. He's just a guy, and don't spend too much for him this year because he's probably going to be a nobody by next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree on the Hayden Hurst. I mean, you got the coach there, 2 tight end sets, and let's be frank, all that has to happen is pitch to go down, and this guy becomes an automatic plug-in. I mean, why is everybody kidding this guy and throwing him all the way down to the 40th? I think this guy's a tremendous pick where his ADP is at right now. You need to get him. He is a full tight end. There's nothing that this guy can't do. He blocks, he catches, he does everything. All the intangibles. He's just, you know how I feel about Matt Ryan, man. I'm not even gonna elaborate on that. I can see Mike Davis taking a hit, not a massive one, but taking a hit. Calvin Ridley's probably, we're gonna see if he's the real deal this year. I'm not saying that I have any doubts on this kid whatsoever, but we're gonna see from point A to point Z if this guy's the real deal this year. And let's see if Matt Ryan uses the tight ends, because at the end of the day, yeah, the coach likes to do tight end sets, but bro, Matt Ryan doesn't really throw all that much to the tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I think Kyle Pitts is an overhype. Great freaking prospect, animal of a prospect. I just don't like Matt Ryan, bro. Like, that guy can't get Julio Jones the ball. Who better than Julio Jones? And especially in the red zone. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we're gonna find out this year if Calvin Ridley's the guy. We're gonna find out if Matt Ryan can actually base his strengths around this offense. And another thing that I'm gonna tell you is a guy nobody's talking about that you can probably pick up at the free agent wire. He's not even going in half the drafts. Well, I would say like he's probably going in maybe like 60% of the drafts that I'm in. Is guy Frank Darby. Okay, he's a wide receiver. Watch out for that guy. He's like in a good situation, and he's 6'1". He weighs 200 pounds. So it's a little sleeper to look for. If you're looking for a wide receiver, and you're looking to take a stab at a decent rookie wide receiver, that's in a good situation.
Oh, definitely, bro. In fact, before I move on to the Saints, bro, touching on really quick when you said sleeper, my little tingle went on my brain. I realized that we missed Javian Hawkins, bro. Javian Hawkins, that undrafted running back out of Louisville. All there is Mike Davis, and Mike Davis has not. We talked about this a little bit before. I think it was our first show. So Mike Davis is not the end all be all. He's 28 years old. Javian Hawkins is out there. He's on. He's a good pickup in rookie drafts. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Definitely. Mike Davis is a rental.
yeah,
Mike Davis is just there filling in till something better comes along.
yeah.
And that's not a hot take. You know what I mean? But yeah. So let's move on.
Sure. Last team for me today is the New Orleans Saints, bro. And I'm not gonna talk about the Saints without saying something. Michael Thomas is a value, bro. And I'm gonna say it again one more time for the people in the back, bro. He is a value, bro. This guy was a first round startup pick last year, and now after dealing with injuries and playing with the corpse of Drew Brees, he's going in the middle of the third round, bro. Just think of that. He's going in the middle of the third round, and people are drafting him in the third round because they're saying, "Well, he doesn't have Drew Brees anymore." What if?
Nah, that's
Oh,
not true. That's not true, bro. Sorry to cut you off. That's not true.
that is true, bro. And let me tell you, bro. The best weeks he had, the best week he had last year was week 11, 12 targets. Who was his quarterback? Taysom Hill. Second
Exactly.
second best week of the season, week 13, 11 target. Get it? Guess again. Who is his quarterback? Taysom Hill. You see the pattern, bro. What if the narrative that Breeze not being there is a bad thing is wrong? What if it's a good thing, bro? Breeze was a great quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, great guy, all of that. But what if he just wasn't good anymore? And the reason Thomas was running all those slant routes that they make fun of was because Breeze didn't have the arm strength to get him the ball down the field. So fast forward now to 2021, and you either got Jameis Winston taking control of this QB job, and if that's the case, that guy has arm strength for days, and then we'll see if Michael Thomas can get down the field, go up and get the ball. And if for some reason, just so we know, so everybody can know, I believe Jameis Winston is going to take control of this QB room and be the starter. That's who I'm projecting as a starter. That's with all my numbers and my thought process, Jameis Winston. But let's just say for some reason Jameis Winston is not the starter. Well, guess what? We already saw last year what Michael Thomas could do with Taysom Hill, and again, 12 targets, 11 targets. Taysom Hill threw him the ball, and he knew get the ball to my best player, so that's what he did. So I'm all in on Michael Thomas. I'm in the value of the third round. He's gonna be a wide receiver one this year, and I'm buying him everywhere I can for anybody who's stupid enough to sell him to me. Um, and the only other thing, Kamara, bro, and he's a question mark, bro. He's a question mark.
Oh, let me tell you. A quick thing. I did a dispersal with you, and I he was probably one of the best players that I picked up, and I got a massive haul for him. I had the 1-2, and I ended up getting the 1-1, the 110, a second round pick, for Kamara, and I'm not sure who else it was that I right now on the top of my head. Geez, I can't remember. But I the best players pretty much that I had, I let them go. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up letting that go, and I ended up getting Najee Harris, um, Chase at the 1-2. At the 110, I ended up picking my quarterback wide receiver combo because I have Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. So, bro, I'm loving the outlook of my team as opposed if I would have not done anything. So, if you guys, let me tell you, this is the big thing about the show. If you guys are wondering what to do with Kamara, or you're in a similar situation on a dispersal, and it's not a very good dispersal, and you, bro, this is dynasty football, gentlemen. Put your thinking GM caps on for your teams and get to work. Go ahead, Brandon. My bad.
No, I mean you said it just like I was about. My next sentence was going to be, right now his value is never going to be higher. So now's the time to sell if you can. It's only going to go down. It's not like we're gonna come in next week and go next year and go Kamara is even better than he ever was before. I mean, this is the pinnacle, and he's right now 20. He's 26 years old before the year starts. He's never had 1,000 yard rushing season. Let me say it again. He's never had 1,000 yard rushing season.
There you go.
So where does his points come from? It comes from the passing game. All right. And just like you talked about earlier with Philip Rivers, with the checkdowns to his running backs, that's what Drew Brees was doing, checking down to Kamara. All right. That's why Kamara, it's not saying Kamara is not a good running back, but that's where he gets his points. So from week 11 through week 14, playing with Taysom Hill, Kamara's points for PPR, what he points per game, he had a 10.5 game, a 6.2 game, a 17.7, and a 22.4. So as you can see, he had two of his worst career games out of four playing with Taysom Hill as quarterback. And guess what? That one game where he had 22.4 points, fantasy points that game, he needed 10 targets to get there.
Mhm.
So you take that into account. So we know that Taysom Hill doesn't target him very often. We know that Jameis Winston's probably going to be throwing the ball down the field, not doing checkdowns, right? We know that even if Jameis Winston's the starter, Taysom Hill is going to be taking away goal line work, right? If they were putting Taysom Hill in for Drew Brees, who's a Hall of Famer, and they're going to be putting him in there for Jameis Winston. So you got Taysom Hill taking away the goal line work. You have less passes coming his way. I think he's still going to be an RB1, but he's going to be closer to the Austin Eckler level than he's going to be to CMC. And everyone is still drafting him as the RB5 in startups. Again, RB5 in startups. Okay.
Nope.
He's 26 years old, bro. You don't draft a 26-year-old running back number 5 in startups if he's losing his quarterback who throws him the ball. I'd much rather have Akers or Swift going forward. So don't draft
And Taylor, to be
and
honest with you.
of course and Taylor. That goes without saying, bro. And for me, Troutman, the tight end over there, he's the de facto tight end number one on his team. Everyone's calling him as a possible breakout. I totally agree. And just my final little thoughts on this is once again, I've been playing a lot of underdog, best ball. New Orleans has a really nice stacking possibility team with best ball. You get Michael Thomas in the third round. You then get Troutman in the late rounds. You get Jameis Winston in the late rounds, and then you can either get a Traquan or Callaway to wrap it up, and then you have a nice little nasty New Orleans stack possibility there as
Yeah.
well.
Last final thought for me on the Saints. I think what the Saints are doing with Winston is genius. At best, he's getting backup money with at $12 million. If he hits or miss, even if he just backs up, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I think that Michael Thomas is a definite keeper, and if you're in startups, the only thing that concerns me about Michael Thomas is his attitude problems that he was having last year. He did get benched the game for some type of discrepancy with a teammate. I think he punched a teammate or something like that. So that's what's turning me off about Michael Thomas. Not the fact that he has a new quarterback or anything like that. He's proven that he can do it with any quarterback. But the fact that he had problems last year with the team while he was out, he was supposed to play. He had like a problem with the teammate. That to me is, I think that he's gotten a little bit full of himself, and that's why I'm staying away from him. But to say that he doesn't do it, that he can only do it with Breeze is absurd.
No, I agree, man. I agree. So let's see where the season takes us, bro. And that's it. But we're coming down to the last two teams, bro, of the NFC South. You drew the Panthers and Tampa Bay. Who are you gonna start with for us, brother?
Bro, I'm gonna start with the Carolina Panthers. Super upset at them for passing up on Justin Fields. I'm sure you are too. Yeah, it says that they're going, Darnold, but how do you not get insurance for Darnold, man? Like with a guy like Justin Fields, man. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you not do that? Like, but hey, we're not GMs, we're podcasters, it's just our point of view. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people see it that way too. But, at the end of the day, with their first pick at the A spot, they win J.C. Horn. I don't know if anybody remembers, this guy's dad. This guy's dad was the man. Joe Horn, the wide receiver that used to play for the Saints. He had some crazy celebrations. I love that guy. He had a couple of breakout seasons, and he was really good. This is his son, man. He's good pedigree. He grew up in the NFL. So I mean, that is a good thing for Carolina. So he's seen it his whole entire life. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. So this kid, you know, he could very well, be, something good. He has a 33-inch wingspan. So, let's see what he pans out. I mean, if his dad played in the NFL and he was around that, that's a good sign for me. I just wish these guys would have got Justin Fields, but that's a whole other thing. With the number in the second round, 59th pick, your boy Terrace Marshall from LSU. I know you're super high on this guy, man. I think this guy, he dropped massively in the boards because of his lower leg extremity injuries. I like this guy a lot, dude. He's my type of receiver. He's 6'2". He had 48 catches for 731 yards, and he had a 15.2 average and 10 touchdowns in the first 7 games of the season before he opted out. So that's a big, big, big sign for me, to get this guy a chance. With round 3 with the 70th pick, they got Brady Christensen, an offensive tackle from Brady Christensen, sorry, from BYU. Never a bad idea to beef up the line, especially after last year. Like and you want to protect Darnold. And in round 3, they went with Tommy Tremble, one of the only other tight ends mentioned in this draft. This guy, there's nothing bad about this guy. He had only 35 catches for 401 yards and 4 TDs in his 2 seasons in the Notre Dame. He's not a huge of a target, but he's gritty, man. He fits the mold of what Rule wants to do up front. So let's see what happens. This guy can pan out, in the 4th round with the 126 pick, they picked up Chuba Hubbard. Now, this guy for me is definitely something to keep your eye on. Okay, he's 6 foot tall, 207 pounds. He rushed for 3,459 yards, 33 touchdowns in 3 years. But he's also effective as a wide receiver now. He had 53 catches for 479 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys to keep an eye on this guy is because Carolina had the knack for overusing Christian McCaffrey. I'd have the knack for looking at teams that overuse their running backs. This is how I get a lot of points in Dynasty. You know what I mean? Last year, I did it a lot with Mike Davis. And I'm sure, Brandon, you can feel on me on this. Even though Mike Davis had a major dip at the end of the season, he got me some wins. You know what I mean? So this guy's young. He's really big. He ran for over 2,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken, in college. If Christian McCaffrey happens to go down, this guy could definitely win you a league or two. So, keep your eye on them. You know what I'm saying? But, they got a DT from Iowa at the 158th. Davion Nixon. With the 166, they picked up Keith Taylor, cornerback from Washington. They picked up another offensive guard in Deontay Brown from Alabama with the 193rd pick. They got another Carolina receiver, South Carolina, Shai Smith at the 204. Thomas Fletcher, 222nd overall pick. He's a long snapper from Alabama, so he must be good if he got picked up in the draft. Long snapper, wow. And then in round 7 with the 232nd pick, they picked up Phil Hoskins, defensive tackle from Kentucky. And, I just want to talk about what this team is doing, besides the draft. For me, this is DJ Moore's last straw. Hopefully they switch him with Robbie Anderson because that's his natural position. And I think that switch up is messing him up. But let's be frank here. He had one good year with Cam and Cam's good arm. And, last year he was outproduced by Samuels in that offense and Robbie Anderson. So I don't understand what's the big deal and the hype around this guy where everybody's holding on to this guy, not wanting to trade him. I understand he's good. He was great in college, but, I'm with the point that bro, when you're a good wide receiver, bro, you shine wherever you put out. Yeah, certain situations might dampen your talent, your outcome, but I'm tired of hearing excuses for this guy. You know what I mean? To me, this is his last year, and to be honest with you, he's already at a disadvantage because of the fact that Sam Darnold has rapport with Anderson. So, in saying that, I hope he has a good year. I have him on a bunch of my teams. I haven't even been able to get rid of this guy for what he's worth because nobody's taking him. So, I'm gonna have to run it with him one more year, and I hope he blows up. I hope that he finally has the year that he deserves. But when you're getting outproduced by Samuels, I don't know, man. That to me is a red flag. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, I would have rather this pick, the first pick that they made, been Justin Fields. But like I said, these guys know what they're doing. They do this for a living. They get paid to do this. So you'll see what happens. Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champs. I mean, come on, this team's already stacked. They had the 32nd overall pick. They picked up Joy Tryon, outside linebacker, Washington, beefing up that defense even more. They picked up Trask, you know, just to, be behind the Tom Brady. I don't think this is bad. I think this reiterates why this guy's a better pick than Mills is in your eyes. And this is awesome, champ. I think this guy might learn a thing or two from Brady and fill in for Brady. If he doesn't, I mean, they picked him up, in the later rounds. It's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Um, I like the outlook on this team. Everybody's talking about Ronald Jones being getting demoted. I think Ronald Jones is the new James White on that offense. I don't know what the hell everybody's talking about. You know, they have wide receivers everywhere, so they're not stacking the box. Mike Evans, Godwin, they got AB, they got Gronk, they're getting OJ Howard back. I mean, these guys are looking straight for a repeat. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think they're the odds on for the Super Bowl to repeat again, bro. Um, Ronald Jones, I mean, he's a joke, right? Like he's a joke in Dynasty community. No one really wants Ronald Jones, man, and but people forget how good he was doing before he got injured at the end of the year. They forget that Fournette wasn't doing nothing until the playoffs. So, I think Ronald Jones is a nice little grab if you start off zero RB, or if you start off heavy on wide receiver and you want to throw a dart at somebody, man. They're gonna have a good defense, right? So we know they're gonna have a good defense. They're gonna play with a lead for the majority of the game, more than likely. And what do you do when you have a good defense, an older QB, and you're playing from a lead? You run the ball, man. You run the ball, and you know if Fournette's the receiving back like they use, and this guy got speed in Ronald Jones, man, I don't mind. I don't mind Ronald Jones, bro. I really don't. I think the before people were too high on him, and I think it's gone the wrong way right now, and people are a little too low on him. So I wouldn't mind having a little bit of Ronald Jones exposure here and there.
I actually think that he's the new James White, and I think Fournette's gonna get to eat. I think he's gonna get to eat. Bruce Arians is not Bill Belichick, so you're not gonna have that problem. Like, will Keyshawn Vaughn shine finally? Because he was like everybody's, oh my God, this is the sleeper of the draft in the first round. He started off getting picked up early in the second, and I ended up seeing him going in the 110, 111s, and 112s, and
No.
I was one of those guys. I'm not gonna lie. In a draft, I picked him up in a draft. I took a flyer on him in a draft because I had Ronald Jones. So I'm like, if this guy ends up taking Ronald Jones's job, I got him. I picked up the backfield. But I mean, do we see him shine? I don't know.
I
I
don't think.
I, I don't think so. There you have it, folks. Episode 3, Dynasty Life Miami podcast with JPMB. Thanks for tuning in, man. What are your final thoughts, Brandon?
Oh, I think that's it, man. Another show over an hour. It is what it is. It's what we do. So, so it is what it is, man. No matter how hard we try, bro, it is. And I think that just goes to show how much we love football, bro. And I hope you will enjoy listening to it. And I look forward to pushing out the next episode, man, and keep making content, bro. So I look forward to talking to you next week, man.
Yeah, I look forward to talking to you next week too, buddy, and talking about more football. Thanks you guys for listening. Make sure that you do subscribe to us on all major streaming platforms for podcasts and follow us at Dynasty Life MIA on Twitter, Instagram. Go ahead and follow Brandon on Uncommon Sense at Twitter. He'll tell you he tells you how to spell it at the beginning. So if you need to go back and get him to spell it, you go ahead and go to the beginning of the podcast. You'll get it. You can follow me at Dynasty Life MIA and at Salazar 305. And go ahead and follow us everywhere else, folks. You guys have a good evening. Have a good weekend. God bless.
Take it easy, man.